You are here now, and before anything settles, before anything becomes quiet, you are already part of this moment. This moment already includes you exactly as you are. The day can remain as it was. Your mind can move in whatever way it moves. And still, you are here. And within this, everything that is present has a place here. Thoughts can move, sensations can shift, attention can come and go. All of it remains within this moment. All of it still belongs here. And as you begin listening, you may notice the sound beneath these words. Steady, soft, present in its own way. Nothing here is waiting for anything from you. Just there. And you are here with it, already within it, already a part of it. There is no edge where this moment stops and something else begins. Even the sense that something feels slightly off or not quite settled is still part of this. It doesn't move anything away. It doesn't take you out of this. It appears within the same space as everything else. And within that, there can be a quiet recognition that nothing here needs to be arranged for this moment to continue. It is already continuing, already holding everything that appears. And you remain within it without needing to adjust anything, without needing to become anything else. Just here, already included, already part of this, gently held, exactly as it is. If the mind continues to move from one place to another, carrying pieces of the day, that movement can continue, like something passing in the background, without needing to settle. There can be thinking and listening at the same time, and all of it can remain here together. You are still here, not separate from any of it, just here. And underneath that movement, there is something steady, something that does not shift with each thought, something already present, and you are already within it, already held within it. If something from the day is still here, lingering or unresolved, it can rest here, not solved, not finished, just resting. Nothing needs to be carried in the same way. Everything can sit a little more loosely, a little more open, without needing to disappear. And as that softens, even slightly, the body may begin to respond in its own way, without direction, without effort. Even a small shift is enough. There is already enough here. Nothing here is asking you to hold it all together. Rest is already here, not waiting for anything to finish, not depending on anything being resolved. It can exist right in the middle of things, right alongside movement, uncertainty, incompleteness. Rest can remain underneath all of that, quietly, without needing to replace it. And you can settle into that in whatever way happens naturally. Nothing here is asking you to become more ready for rest. It is already here with you. Things do not need to be figured out here. They can remain open, unresolved, still forming, without losing anything. There is space for not knowing, space for things without shape, space for things that are still becoming. And within that, nothing is missing. Nothing here is falling behind. Nothing here needs to rush toward completion. Things can remain unfinished and still be gently held here. You can take up space here fully, without reducing anything, without smoothing anything, without becoming easier to hold. There is room for what feels clear and what doesn't, for what feels steady and what moves. All of it remains within this space, held without condition. Nothing here asks you to become smaller. Nothing here asks you to arrive more polished or easier to receive. You can remain exactly as you are and still fully belong here. There are moments like this in every life where things feel unclear, where something lingers, where something does not fully settle. Nothing about that places you outside of anything. Nothing about that separates you. This is part of the movement, part of being here, part of everything that continues. And even this is included. Even this belongs within what holds you. Nothing here has asked you to be untouched or perfectly settled. You can remain inside this moment exactly as you are. There can be moments where something feels slightly off or not quite settled, as if there is a small distance between where things are and where they're expected to be. That sense can feel real, like something hasn't quite come together or hasn't landed in the way it was meant to. And even that is part of what is here. It doesn't move anything outside of this moment. It appears within it in the same way as everything else. You are still here, still within this, still part of everything that is unfolding. Nothing about that shifts. Nothing about that is lost. And even the feeling that something is not aligned or not fully settled remains within this, held in the same way as everything else. There is no separate place where that goes. It stays here, as it is, without needing to resolve. Without needing to become anything else. And as that softens, even slightly, there can be a quiet softening. Not because something changed, but because it didn't need to. Everything that appears continues within this. Thoughts, sensations, movement, stillness. None of it leaves, none of it falls away. It remains within the same space, steady underneath change, continuous underneath movement, and you remain within that without needing to hold on to it, without needing to keep track of it. It is already here, already present, already including everything, gently held exactly as it is. The body is already being supported, held by what is beneath it, without effort. You may notice the weight, the contact, the quiet support that has been here all along. And some of that weight can begin to settle naturally without being pushed, without being directed, just received, just gently held. Nothing here is asking the body to carry more than it already does. The support underneath you remains here, quietly, without condition. Breathing is already happening, rising, falling on its own. No guidance needed. No change required. Just movement, coming and going. And attention can rest here, or drift, or move. Nothing is disturbed by that. The breath does not need to become deeper or calmer or different. It is already enough, exactly as it is. And you can rest here with it without needing to do anything. To remain held within this moment. What has been here can begin to feel closer, less like something being heard and more like something being recognized, something already familiar, already present, not added, not created, just noticed. And within that, there can be a quiet sense of remaining as you are, without needing to become anything else. Nothing here is asking you to move closer to what already holds you. Nothing here is waiting for you to become more worthy of what has always been here. And even a small recognition of that can soften something deeply, without effort, without needing to be forced, just gently remembered. Nothing here needs to be removed. Nothing needs to be pushed away. Everything that appears remains within what holds it. Thoughts, feelings, movement, stillness. None of it is outside. All of it remains gently held, and there can be a quiet recognition, not something new, not something added, just something seen. That what holds all of this, what allows all of this, is not divided, not conditional, not separate. And in that, there is something simple, something steady, something that does not move. The oneness of the universe is love, and what you are has never been separate from that. Nothing here has ever asked you to earn what was already here. Nothing beneath you has ever been withholding love. Nothing needs to be rushed. Nothing needs to be picked back up all at once. This can continue, even as things begin to shift. Nothing here is left behind. Nothing disappears. It remains quietly underneath movement, underneath thought, underneath change. And you can move from here without losing this. Nothing here is asking you to hold on to the feeling or preserve it perfectly. What holds you does not disappear when attention moves. It remains here too, quietly, without condition. This can continue without needing to end, without needing to close, just resting, just unfolding, just being. Nothing to hold, nothing to track, nothing to maintain. Just this, continuing in its own way, still here, still breathing, nothing missing. All of this held in love. Nothing here has moved away from you. Nothing here has withdrawn what was always here. And you can rest inside that without needing to hold on to it, without needing to keep any of it together. Just here, gently held exactly as you are.